Good morning, everyone. My name is Wayne Bolden. I'm the Speed King. Hope you had a great weekend for sure. It's going to be hot starting this weekend for sure, so stay hydrated. And a shout out to my folks over there at Godolphin. Of course, Sovereignty continue to do what he needs to do for sure, right? Unbettable, but that's how champions become champions. And as always, we're here to dial in. Why do the Speed King have a Derby shirt on? Well, because uh, next weekend up at Saratoga, of course, the Whitney's running, but they got 5 Grade 1 races up there. And to kick it off, we're treated to a stake race early in race number 3, the Saratoga Special. Now, in my mind, that's when Derby dreaming starts, right? With the 2-year-old boys who come to town, some very fine athletes. And always in my mind, I'm thinking that's when the next Derby kicks off. Hopefuls, right? I just think that way. And to me, Saratoga Special Race always marked, okay, let's start taking a look at these 2-year-old boys who's going to turn 3 in January 2026 and hopefully get to the first Saturday of May, right? And the Saratoga Special is race number 3 on the card this upcoming Saturday, which is the 2nd of August, I believe. And nice field, right? And I've been doing some pedigree work on some of these horses, and there's 2 flyers in here, right? And I don't know how many horses won the Saratoga Special to win the Derby. Now, I know Whirl Away did it, right? I know the Philly Regret back in 1914 or whatever won it, right? One of the 3 fillies to only win the Kentucky Derby. Of course, Regret, Genuine Risk, and of course, everybody know D. Wayne Lucas with Winning Colors. So if somebody can do that and find out how many Saratoga Special horses actually won the Kentucky Derby. Now, I do know Native Dancer ran 2nd, I believe, in the Derby, but won the Belmont and the Preakness. But that being said, this year edition of the Saratoga Special, where I believe this is where the Derby dreaming starts. This is where it kicks off, right? We spend 9 months talking about the Derby just for that 2 minutes, and the Derby's over, and then we turn our attention to next year right away. So this is always my kickoff to start talking Derby, the Saratoga Special, and we got some nice boys in here. Wow, there's 2 of them in here. Well, race number 3, 200,000, only going 6 furlongs, and it's a small field. Grade 2, by the way, it's a small field of 6, and there's 2 horses in here. Ewing, the number 1, trained by Mark Cassey. Irad is in the yards, who looking for his first Derby, of course, but in DJ Stables. And Asmussen got Obliteration, the number 6 horse, who is fast as all get out by Violence with Pratt in the yards. Very fast horse. So those 2, the number 1 and the number 6, looks like it's going to be a match race, right? But let's run through it real quick. The number 1 horse, Ewing, we talked about. Mark Cassey doing the conditioning. Irad's in the yarn. Only won a maiden race. And by the way, the only stake winner in this race is Steve Asmussen horse, Obliteration, who won the maiden race and then the Sanford across this racetrack on July 5th by 10 lengths. But the number 1 Ewing is bred so beautifully by Knicks Go. That's right, the Breeders' Cup Classic, Knicks Go. And on come out of Sassy Ali Joy, and Indian Charlie is the grandsire. So the number 1 horse is bred top and bottom. And when I went to look this horse up in Pedigree Query, go check that out, Pedigree Query, and you can go back 4, 5, 6, 7 generation. Well, Ewing's by Knicks Go, right? And the sire of Knicks Go was Panther, who was sired by Awesome Again. That Awesome Again. Ghost Zapper was by Awesome Again. And Deputy Minister 4 generations back to Vice Regal, who was a nice turf horse. And on the dam side, this horse don't have to apologize by out of Sassy Alley Joy, but Sassy Alley Joy's sire was Indian Charlie, who was fast as all get out. And then in excess, like that, But the bloodline suggests a great balance conformation for Ewing. Got some speed, but also has the stamina. So that's what you're really looking for. A horse that can, be close, obviously, but that can go classic distance of 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles. And Mark Hasse, with its number one horse, Ewing, came off of a beautiful, beautiful maiden race on July 5th across Saratoga and won the race by 12 lengths, right? Breaking from post number 2. And Jose Ortiz was in the orange that day. Okay, now they have Irad Ortiz in the orange. Now, you say, well, why is that? I don't know, but Jose Ortiz chose to take the number 4 horse, Dazzle of Dior. What does he know that we don't, right? He was the rider of the number 1 horse, Ewing, who looks like a world beater in here, okay, or one of the 2 world beaters. But I don't know if it was by assignment or you think the jockey would have his choice, right? Even though Irad is the leading rider at Saratoga, Jose's been on fire the last few months, and he ended up taking the number 4 horse, Dazzle of Dior, who broke in maiden gate to wire as well by 3 lengths at Churchill Down for the sneaky, sneaky Tom Amis. Okay, so who's by Bolt Dior. So let's put that in the back of our mind. Why is Jose on the 4 and not the 1? Because I'm sure if he wanted the 1 back after breaking his maiden, probably could get him. So let's think about that. But the number 1 horse didn't, got the leading rider up, Irad. So he's going to take plenty of money. Of course, this horse is going to be extremely good in this race. The number 2 horse, we're going to go through all of them, then I'll give you my top pick. The number 2 horse, Comport. Well, Comport, Kennedy is the trainer. Louis Saez is up. This is out of Horses by Collected. Not bad. Took 2 times, one time to breaking maiden, went to a stake race, which was the Bashford Manor, and ran second. That's no disgrace, behind Romeo, right? And will need to improve, but that's what young horses do, right? One day, 2-year-olds don't want to run, and the next day they jump up from nowhere. This is why you have to project on how these horses are going to be, right? And but I don't think Comport, the number 2, is going to beat this bunch. I would use him underneath because it looks like he'll be making up the most ground in this short 6 furlongs. Thunder Chuck, not Thunder Snow. That's my favorite Godolphin horse, Thunder Snow. But Thunder Chuck, Delgado, who's doing really, really well, and you got Oliver in the orange. Look like this one's going to is the worst of the 6 here for sure. Don't like the number 3. Going to toss that one. And we talked a little bit about the number 4 horse, Dazzle Dior. Jose Ortiz took this one over the number 1. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know that, but I can't see them kicking them off the 1 after winning it. And maybe, it's a contractual thing. And I like the number 4 horse, Dazzle Dior, because Tom Amis is a really, really good trainer and don't get that kind of national attention that he should, but he's really, really good. This one's by Bolt Dior on the back end by First Defense, and this one looked like this one could go the distance as well. Very, very fast. Prodigies from Bolt Dior has been doing real good. Let's keep an eye on the number 4 horse, just with that rider switch. The number 5, right? Comgold. Right, Comgold. Well, Santos doing the conditioning. You got Lascano in the orange. And this one looks like he's going to have to improve greatly, right, for me. So the 3 and 5 don't look like to me from here that they can win this race. So I'm going to toss both of them. And, you could use them underneath in verticals. But I don't like the 3 or the 5 to even think about winning this race, right, for sure. And not too keen on the number 2 horse. But I do think the number 2 could sneak in there for 2nd or 3rd because he's going to be making up ground in a very, very fast race. This race is going to be fast, y'all. And the last horse is Obliteration. Wow, that's what he's done. He's obliterated these horses. He's got 2 for 2, 2 starts, 2 wins. My boy, Steve Asmussen, was looking for his first Derby, so I know he's going to have good hands on all his 2-year-old babies for sure. Flavian Pratt gets the mount here. Violence, which is just awesome. And Master Command is the grandsire, and this horse is bred to go the distance. Go look up Pedigree Quarry again and go back 3 or 4 generations. I mean, this horse, Obliteration, Bloodline, Spells, you know, by Violence, the sire of Violence with Madlia Duora, El Prado, back to Sandra Wells, back to Northern Dancer. On the dam side, goes all the way back to Master Command, to AP Indy, right to Seattle Slew. This horse is not only well balanced with speed, but in terms of classic distance, maybe one that can go and would be one of the top horses in here. The only graded winner in this race in 2 starts. Won the last 2 races in a combined 17 lengths. And across this track, back in 28 days, Flavian Pratt is back in the arms, coming off that grade 3, not a grade 2, the Sanford, and won that race by 10 lengths. And I like the sprinters to be outside. I love the post because they can get out and get over in front of the rest of the field. Now, I don't think he's going to beat Ewing, the number 1, out of the gate. So that being said, there's all 6. Well, my top pick is I'm going to stay on the rail here. And you really don't like babies on the rail breaking, but I think the number 1 horse, Ewing, is an exceptionally bred horse by Nick's Go, who I had big time in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Nick's Go had even splits all the way around the racetrack, and you know how I am about that. The number 1 horse is going to be my top pick. The only thing that puzzled me is why Jose got off this horse to jump to the 4. But again, it ain't like they went and got Emilio Gomez to ride the 1. They went and got the leading rider at Saratoga, Irad Ortiz. So hello, everything he touched turned to gold. My top pick obviously is going to be the number 1. And equally in close is how good is Obliteration, the number 6 horse. My boy Asmussen, you know, part of me is pulling for him. I think this is a match race and you can go either way. I want to see Steve Asmussen win a Derby, and I'll be standing right there with him when he does, for sure. I go all the way back to 50 stars with him. And there he goes with that 50-star horse, right? Who really never won nothing but the Louisiana Derby, I believe, with Donnie Meshy. But anyway, that was one of my favorite pet horses that Steve trained 20 years ago. But Obliteration is just beautifully bred. Nick's Go on the back end by Indian Charlie, bred for stamina and speed. For sure. Well, not by Nick's Go, excuse me. By Violence on the back end by Master Command, and Flavian Pratt, again, on fire, just a world-class rider, and second time and a graded winner in the whole entire field, and the only stakes winner in the field, right? Back in 28 days, won the stake race over this track. How much more then, right? Source is really, really good. So the top 2 picks here obviously is the 1 and the 6, the 6 and the 1. I'm going to give the 1 an edge here over Obliteration, believe it or not. So it's going to be 1, 6, 4 for us, and then the 2 in the 4th spot to put a little value in the super. But that's the way it looks to me. It looks like a match race between the 2 fastest horses in the race, the 1 and the 6, the 6 and the 1. The break is going to mean everything here. The only question is, let's see what odds the number 4 horse is, and why did Jose Ortiz choose that one over the 1? Maybe it's a contractual thing, don't know. But there it is, folks. I like the number 1, I like the number 6, but I got to put them in order, right? 1, 6, 4, 2 in the 4th spot under the super. My name is Wayne Bolden. We starting the Derby Dream. The 2-year-old babies are in town. We're going to start putting this together for sure as we move towards the end of the year. There it is, your Saratoga special. In your SpeedKing's mind, this is when Derby Dreaming starts. Right about this time, every year for me. Saratoga special, I turn my attention to the boys, the 2-year-old boys, as each and every one of them turn 3. Hopefully they can put some preps together and start the Derby Dream. Hey, I got a 2-year-old native brew. Let's not forget about him, who's by your pond. Who was a sprinter. I don't know if my horse would be able to go a mile, but who knows? We're all Derby dreaming. I got a 2-year-old baby, and the race was scratched on Monday for Ellis Park because of the weather. So we'll let you know when Native Brew's going to run again as they relocate those cards for Monday. It was supposed to run on Monday, but they canceled all the racing at Ellis Park. Sunday or Monday. Hot weather, for sure. Ewing, Obliteration. I think Ewing is the better of the two right now. We'll find out for sure. My name is Wayne Bolden. Let me know what you think for sure. Let me know how many Saratoga special horses won the Kentucky Derby. Know about Whirlaway. Know about the Philly Regret. One of the only 3 fillies to win the Derby. And now let's do some homework. This is why racing is fun. I like the pedigree. I like the bloodlines. That kind of thing is really what gets me to solve the puzzles. You know what I mean? I like that, right? I like to use my brain a little bit. Stay classy, y'all, in all that you do. Stay hydrated, for sure. Long way to say there's 2 monsters in here. But you got to get them to the first Saturday of May, which is only like, what, 9 months away? Wow. Yeah, got to handle them with kid gloves. Everybody that have a 2-year-old is Derby dreaming. Even your SpeedKing with Native Brew get on there. He's by Yopon, a sprinter. We got Authentic over there, though, thanks to Bob Baffert. And I'm no big Bob fan.